All right, so we're live. I want to thank you so much. We have here Tom Wilson, who's is a business owner, a successful business owner, and didn't start off that way like most business owners don't. And I invited you here, which I'm so thankful for you to give your time. And I've told you before, I mean, you're responsible for a lot of majority of my recent mental growth. And at one point, even probably now, I consider you like an oracle to myself.
Wait, I want to remember. I want to go back and tell my high school English teacher that I helped somebody with mental growth. Right?
Absolutely, and I'm proud to publicly.
I don't know if
I
believe it, Nick. I don't. I think you're, but I'll take it, buddy. All right.
All right. And I wanted you to come on today to just go over a little bit of your story on, where you started, what helped you get to where you are today. Did you always start off? Did you always have the mindset that you have now? Was that a growing process? And what obstacles did you face? How did you overcome them? Just an overall crunch lesson, because I know we're limited on time, but just an abbreviated version.
Sure. All right. Well, that's a mouthful, and I got to put my clicker glasses on, which my wife hates, but some people think is cool, right? So that I can see you. For whatever reason, if I can't see crisply either my food or who I'm talking to, it throws me off a little bit. To answer your question, for me, and I've contemplated this a little bit. Like how why me? Because I'm blessed with being able to do what I love to do, what my burning desires, what my soul loves to do. I get to do for a living, and on top of that, as a bonus, actually make money. Have an income from what I like. I'll just say I'm a builder. I'm a commercial construction manager, and so and to me, a big part of it is that's not my job, right? That's who I am. That's what I love. If I'm not building a building for you, I'm building something for me. I come home and I build. What I'm getting at is, my point is, I think it's more about your attitude, and if you pay attention to the things that make you lose time in your life. Like I was doing this thing, and I forgot how much time had passed. That to me is when you're connected. That's your soul. That is, an artist just do these things, they don't even know where it comes from. Like the painting behind you or the photo behind you, they want to do that. And if they're the best ones, I think, then make money as an accident almost. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think it's attitude. I've wanted to build things, understand how things work from a little age, and I was just blessed to have ended up staying on that course. And what's interesting is, the other thing I'll add is paying attention to the little tiny signals that comes your way in terms of what the universe brings you, right? Universe brings you, I think, little signals. And if you're really operating from your base, from your soul, you're gonna, hopefully you feel it, and then you follow it a little bit. And what I've learned is the universe unfolds in such small steps. You're not going to see it right away until you look back and you go, oh my God, that little tiny decision caused this chain reaction to give me what I was going for the whole time. I just didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? It's never ever, and as I talk to my daughters, it's never ever a straight line. You get knocked off course. But if you want to really do something and it's important to you, and it's a deep understanding commitment, you are tethered to that decision or desire, and every decision you make might not be heading in that direction, but it's bringing you back because you're tethered to that thing that you're going for. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. I think what you're describing, and correct me if I'm wrong or you disagree, is focus. And I use an example, and I think you actually might have even gave me this example. I don't remember where it came from. It's if you had a focus on, let's say, getting to California. So we're here on New York on the East Coast, and you didn't have a map, and let's say there was no street signs. All you had was just yourself and the people and the interactions that you came across. Well, if you know where you want to go and you stay focused on that, you may not take, more than likely, you're not going to take a straight path over to, say, Los Angeles. However, every stop you make, every interaction you have with that focus in mind, you're going to get redirected because you're going to be doing what? You're going to be asking people, do you know how to get there? And that's going to keep you pivoted.
Well, and in fact, I did give you that example because I use that all the time. The way I feel it and look at it, and this has happened in my life. It's sort of like when you have a life decision, you know you need to make the next move. And for me personally, it feels like I'm in a hallway and there are a number of doors. And I know I've got to go through a door. I just don't know which one yet, right? And you open a door, you step into that room a little bit. It doesn't feel right. Something's off. And again, you're paying attention to your soul, your antenna. And you try 3 or 4. And then when you walk in the right door, you go, oh my God, you know what? That's it. I need to be in California 2 weeks from now at 2:00. That is my goal. On Tuesday at 2, I want to be. So to me, you're starting in that general. I just need to go west is your first thing. And as you're going west, you enroll people, you say it out loud. I want to go west. I want to go to Los Angeles. And then if you're positive, you're upbeat, and you've got a great, an upbeat demeanor, when you meet people tend to want to help people that they like and are nice and are the real deal, that they're positive. So people will help you. So you're enrolling people, and you don't need to worry about what stop sign in Arizona do I need to be worried about, or any of that. You sort of can work it out as you go, but you might end up hitting Colorado and coming back down, hitting a roadblock. And dude, you just got to keep, adapt and overcome. And you will then somehow end up in California at that 2:00 on Tuesday.
Right.
But you don't do it alone, right? You need people helping you fill the gas tank, giving you directions, feeding you, blah, 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 blah. So you're enrolling people as you go. And so that is exactly what in my life I've done. And I didn't realize till later that I was actually employing the universal law of attraction. It was completely informal. And because I think I'm schedule centric, I don't know if it's because the business I'm in, or I got good at the business I was in because I was schedule centric. I don't know which one came first. But when you have that goal that you are tethered to and you are unwavering, and it's the right thing to do. And oh, by the way, it's something you're not going to regret if you somehow miss it, because I think your regrets are the things you didn't try, not the things you tried and didn't get, right?
Yes,
So
agreed.
So you just keep hammering away, and it usually comes to you because you're enrolling everybody and you're telling people, here's what I'm trying to do. And then you're doing things in order to do that thing. And then other people start doing things in order to help you do that thing.
Yeah.
And before
Yes.
you know it, you're there, and you're like, wow,
yeah,
that wasn't easy, man, but I did it, Anyway.
So if I could kind of summarize what I'm hearing from you is two major points that people should realize is, one, you followed a passion, you had a focus on a passion, and you stayed committed to that focus. And the byproduct was a financial point that you didn't see coming when you first started. Would you say it's fair to say your focus was first the passion, the byproduct came the financial success?
Yeah, absolutely. It just, and you know, I learned a while ago, in terms of business, there's two types of businesses: inwardly oriented. I'm selling shoes. I'm counting the money, and I need money, and I want to sell shoes. And oh, those shoes didn't really work out. They hurt people's feet, and they're not. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll just make more shoes, and we don't even not even concerned if people buy them twice, as long as we're selling them and we're making money, making money. Versus, I love making shoes. I'm good at it, and I want to, and it makes me feel I enjoyed doing that, and now the shoes I'm selling, people are paying extra money because they're high quality. And the byproduct ends up being, that, and oh, by the way, I'm making money too. That's great. So that's outwardly oriented. Inwardly is I'm counting the money, and that's what's driving me. And there's a lot of businesses, and unfortunately, you know, due to the stockholder, you know, relationship, it's money driven. You know, we're a boutique lifestyle company. We're doing it because we like doing it and making enough money where we're comfortable. Could we take it to the next level? Absolutely. But it's not about counting the money. It's about doing what we like doing, and then the money is a byproduct. So that's outwardly oriented. I'm trying to do this thing that is a service and helps people, versus you know, inwardly I'm just counting my money. So yes, to agree with you.
And then the second thing I heard is that you don't get there alone. And I think maybe many people may not realize that all success, and I personally believe this too. I don't care who you are, what position you're in, or what you've achieved in business. You don't get there alone. You get there through some type of network, however small or big, of people that are really helping each other.
Yeah, the more genuine you are, and I think the more positive you are, the more helpful you are, the more good karma you're laying down, right? That you put that positive energy out, well, guess what you're going to get back? Positive energy, right?
Right.
And you really just pay attention to the details, and you know, the signals, I should say, and when and allow it. It's okay for people to help you, like enroll people in your goal. I'll tell you just a quick funny story that happened, we think yesterday. Not kidding. So I go into the office. My partner's son is there. He just graduated from school. He Before I leave, I ask him, how you doing? What do you think? And he's looking for a job. And he's looking for a job in the movie business. We're in upstate New York, right? So
Right.
I said, okay, well, would you ever consider moving to Los Angeles or someplace like that? Because I lived out there, and I have one of my dear friends was a pretty senior exec for Sony. So I asked, he says, well, yeah. I said, okay. I go, well, listen, enroll people in what you're trying to do. You have your resume. Talk to people like me more. Talk to your dad. Talk to people with connections, and you never know. But you got to get it out there. Enroll. Okay, all right, Mr. Wilson, sounds good. So last night, I'm texting my friend from Los Angeles about something completely different. He's asking me for a favor because, oh, by the way, I didn't know this. There's a production company coming to town Monday.
Oh, wow.
That's what the kid went to school for, right? So, you know, film production. So, hey, buddy, I got a friend, my partner's son, great kid, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, Tom, I can make that happen. I'll set up a meeting with such and such. I'm like, really? So I don't know if that's my vibe or if that's, you know, the kid's vibe or whatever, but there is a connection that would not happen if, number one, if I didn't ask, and just be nice about, you know, I wanted to know what the kid was doing, and him saying that. You know, that's how it works. So yes, enroll others.
Yeah.
Enroll others.
So seeing that we're on the topic of the people in our lives, the network in our lives, the circle, however you want to frame it, would you say that a lot of people maybe struggle in life because of their circle and because not being conscious of who is in that circle? And do you think there's a fear for those to get outside of their comfort zone to adjust their circle and to find others that can help them? You know, people I think have this fear to leave others behind, so to speak.
Well, what here? Okay, so you bring up a good point. So listen, not everything was me with me as I break it down into two things, right? I'm a simple guy, right? I'm just a country boy, and I need to break it down to be simple so I can understand it. There's two ways to be in my world. Two emotions: love based, fear based. We actually try to run our company. A lot of people will laugh at me, especially in commercial construction, and be like, "Really?" No, really, man. We're Oh, it doesn't seem like this because sometimes we're tough guys about it, but we're trying to be love based, right?
Yeah.
I want to love what I'm doing. I do. I'm blessed. I want the people that work with me to love what they're doing, or they're not going to be optimal. They're not going to be operating. This is not an easy business. So you got to be 110%. You can't just do it as a job, right? I want them to love what they're doing. I love my clients. We'll run through that brick wall for them. We want to do it. We want to be appreciated. So there's love based, and everything's attached with that based. I'm fear based. It's hate. It's I heard somewhere, what's the number one thing that human beings are afraid of? Not looking good or looking bad. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I think what I read was that comes before even being afraid of death. So I don't want to look bad. I'm not going to ask that girl on a date. I might look bad. You know
Yeah.
how many more dates I would have had if I didn't have that fear? So, and my wife will attest to that. So to answer your question, I think that's the basis of it. I think there's this love-based way you can operate, and that brings a certain amount of confidence, and maybe maybe it's a little idealistic, but I do think there's time here soon where the paradigm needs to shift a little bit in more of that direction. Wouldn't that be nice if all the souls and we all felt really connected, and everything was more love-based and not fear-based? What's going on right now? Let's build a wall. Well, it's because people are afraid, you know.
Right.
So when it comes to my personal life and a career and enrolling people, I think, to answer your question in a long roundabout way, that that people are just afraid. They don't, which I know the confidence, they're a little bit nervous about asking somebody or even going for what they want in life, and not thinking they can achieve it, because there's stories on top of stories on amazing things of what people achieved.
Yeah. So something else that's really, really very big, huge for me, and a lot of this conversation, there's a lot of terminology, and there's a lot of this that we understand. We've been involved in similar growth aspects of our lives, whether it's reading, whether it's courses. So that being said, because people may not understand some of the terms we're using.
Oh, the nomenclature I'm using.
What I want to bring it back to is, how important would you say it is, and how important has it been for you to involve ourselves in some level of self-improvement to grow in this world?
Okay, so yeah, very good question. So you know how people try to stay in shape, physical shape, go to the gym, have their body be in prime shape, which
Yeah, it's
mine
killing
was
me
a little
right
bit
now
more,
because the gyms are closed.
mine was a little bit more before the COVID thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's like this. It's very, very simple. People do work on their body. I don't think people work enough on their soul and their mind.
Agreed.
It's just there's a lot of literature out there and some classes that help you, instead of going to the gym for your body, maybe go to the gym for your mind, and it's been helpful for me to think a little bit deeper about why I feel and what motivates, and then as a whole, as a human race, how do we, how do we maybe learn to work a little bit better together and a little bit more love based, but just be aware of that. So I do think, so one suggestion and observation, then a recommendation is yes, spend the time on doing a little bit of work on understanding how your mind and your soul, your higher consciousness, just who you really are. Is it Is it, there's the argument, there's the ego mind, and then the, you know, your higher consciousness. Just maybe be aware that maybe that exists, and you can believe whatever you want. I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, do the little work there. You know, there's a deep well of things that you can improve on within your soul, just as you can with your body, in terms
Yes.
of what you eat, how you exercise. All of that matters to your body. Well, it's the same thing with your mind and your soul, I think.
Yes, agreed. And for those that know me, I'm a little bit of a self-improvement nut. And the reason why, you know, the credit in the beginning of this video is because, as you know, you were someone who, I mean, you really introduced, you essentially unlocked the door for me with the recommendation you gave me. And maybe I would have bumped into someone else at another time that would have brought the same material, but it was you who took that time, the little conversations that we had, and that recommendation. And then not even that material, but I felt like, and this could just be in my mind, but I felt like you had them lined up in a certain order for a certain reason, and it was the order that I needed.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was great. And that being said, I read a material that described where it doesn't really matter what order you get something in. We live in this world as if it's linear, and it's really information is really nonlinear. Right? If you look at, you know, everything, time existing at once. However, for me, the process was very
Right.
it was
Well,
very
interesting.
important.
I didn't know that, Nick. So thank you. I was just, you know, you're smart. You're a very, very smart guy. I've learned a lot from you. I really appreciate it. But that means a lot. So I did not realize that.
Yeah, no, you were very,
Oh,
very instrumental in that,
interesting.
and I
Okay.
thank you
Well,
so much for that. Uh, and which had made me lost my second point, which we often do, right?
okay.
I had one more, something I was reading recently that drew, but anyways, a blank. I don't want to spend time on it. So to end off, what would you say? And again, for anyone watching, like this is just general conversation, right? This is
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
This isn't TV. Nothing's rehearsed.
No.
What are what are 3 points that you could give to people that are struggling, whether it be financially, which I find coincide mentally, right? If you're struggling one way, you're struggling the other. More so mentally, I find being the leading factor, but struggling in this world. What would be 3 tips that you could give, or maybe summarize what you've already said as bullet points for those that feel like they just can't get out from under whatever is weighing them down? That might have been a little heavy.
No. What I'm doing is I'm listening, and I'm sort of paying attention to the first thing that comes to me, right? And it's a heavy question, and I will not try. I can't, you know, can't put myself in somebody else's mindset. You know, there's a lot of stories in the big city, right? But what came to my mind when you said that, and this may not answer the question, and my great grandmother, Grandma Quackenbush, who died at 102, used to say to me, Tommy, every morning you wake up, you get to decide how happy to be, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, that's cute, Grandma. And that it took me until about 50 years old to really understand the profoundness of that. That's a profound statement.
Yeah.
That's a lot deeper than, hey, it means you get to decide if you're struggling or not. You know,
Yes.
that you get to decide if money even matters.
Yes.
I've been in situations where, you know, I was this close to losing everything, and I did not sleep that night or those nights. I was curled up into a ball. And what I woke up the next morning realizing is that it's all in my mind. I'm more concerned about, what did I say in the beginning? What people think.
Yeah.
The same people will love me. I'll have the same sense of humor. Nothing's changed to do with money. I get to decide how to feel about it. And by the time I woke up, I thought, that's all in my head. Whether I have money in the bank or not, I'm probably not going to curl up and die. Somebody will throw me a hot dog before I croak, if I'm nice,
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of extreme example, but it took me to, my 50s to realize really what she was saying is that you get to decide how happy you're going to be. And I think it starts there, right?
Yes.
Shakespeare said it too. I don't read Shakespeare every day. I happen to catch this one little, a thing is not either good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
Yes. Yes.
The
I
same
agree.
thing. I think it's Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2, something like that. But so that's what, when you ask me that question, they're struggling. First of all, I'm asking, what are you struggling against? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's first. Is money going to buy you the happiness? Probably not. I think as Buddha, or not, maybe it wasn't Buddha. Well, somebody said, I didn't say this, is that money is numbers, man, and numbers never end.
Yeah. That's true.
I'll tell you right now. I thought, at one point when I was young, 25, I thought, boy, I'll be there as soon as I'm making twice my age and my salary. I'll be there.
Be there.
Guess what? It doesn't work that way, because then you need another car, and it's the same thing. You have to think about it differently. So I think first, first you get to decide if you're struggling or not, and of course you need to put food, and people want to support their families, and you want the best. I get that. Then somewhere in there, man, is that life is too important to be taken seriously all the time. I didn't say that either. Some French philosopher said that, but that's how I look at it. You're bopping through life. You're trying to have enjoy yourself. And if you can find something that you love doing, or if doing it for somebody brings you joy because that person is joyful, you're good, man, but if you're doing something just to make money and that's it, and it's all about the money, I think it's backwards. I never looked at it like that. Never. I just want to build things. I just want to do what I do,
Right.
and by accident, you're able to, make a living at it. And I do wish schools spent a little bit more time bringing that up and out of kids. I don't care what it is, painting, digging holes, astrophysics, what gets your soul, excited? Well, fine, go for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
From an imperfect question, I would say you gave a perfect answer.
Oh, well, I made it up as I went, Nick, just so you know.
You did a great job. I love so much our conversations, and as you know, I have the same feeling with schools, and my belief, I feel K through 12, there should be a life class that has nothing to do with academics, that's not graded, that's not you're going to fail anyone, that should work on the mind and mentality. And it's also something that, as you know, I'm working on getting involved with in our local community, and just working through, again, enrolling other people. And eventually I'm very positive that I'll start to be able to have an impact with our youth, and be able to help that. I think it's rare that we can have individuals that can work with each other objectively versus a bias to, so much in this world we want to tell each other how to live versus working on I personally believe, and there's people that I coach now where my goal isn't to tell anyone how to live, but what I will do is clear your mind. And I feel that you already have the answer. You're unable to see it through all the egoic and subjective lenses, and all the things that cloud our view of life.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on the money with that. It's complicated, but I do think that there's something about, look, let me back up. Every single thing in my life, in terms of, I big decisions, I ask myself, what will I regret less? And every time I come up with, I'll regret less if I don't try it, right? the thing people are afraid of, I don't want to look bad. I'm going to fail. You know, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. So what? Any great thing that has happened in this universe, somebody's hit a brick wall first. When we're building these big, 20, 30, 50-story buildings, it's nothing but roadblocks and minor failures, adapt and overcome. One thing I'll just leave you on, you made me think of, now you got me pumped up again, is we were at this thing, I don't remember what it was, and the question to a group of people was, list all your failures, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just a country boy. I'm not that smart. I could not list any failures. And I'm like, well, what is my problem? I know I have them. I can't think. No, you know what I realized was, if I got to something and it didn't work, I'd shift a little bit what my goal was. Meaning, just because you don't hit exactly, well, you're learning things that maybe your goal wasn't the right goal to begin with, and that's okay too. So all of these things, that you try are not necessarily failures. Again, that's how do you choose to look at it, It was a learning lesson. I learned something, but I also tried it, and now I know, and I don't have a regret for trying it, ever. My only regrets are things I did not try, and I missed the opportunity.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
let's leave on this. How would you, Tom, define success?
That is a very interesting question, because I got into a big argument in junior college with a guy who said success is when you have money and this, and I had to be 18 years old, and I said, no way, dude, no way. Success is, you get to decide. I don't care. I could be walking down the street with holes in my jeans and a raggedy t-shirt, and it's all right here. It has nothing to do with comparison to anybody else. You get to decide if you're success. If you want to put it in monetary terms, okay, fine. What about the guy that's on Maui surfing every day, and he sells snow cones, but he gets to live and operate and be in the most beautiful place imaginable? Well, you know what? And that guy I think is pretty successful, right? So I think it's your success, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? When your self-actualization, where you get to the point where you want for nothing. I have the love, I have the people, I have whatever. And look, that's a huge part of it. Success is, you're loved and you have a family. But I think success is when you want for nothing. And a big part of that is what you decide you need. Money could be part of it. Usually is. Look, David Lee Roth said, it's part of it. David Lee Roth, I think at one point said, they asked him, do you think money can buy you happiness? Dave says, no, I don't know about that, but I think I could pull my yacht up and walk over to it. Right? So there is that part of it. I'm not saying, unfortunately, the construct of this world is, but look, there are a lot of artists I know that love what they do. And they are the most successful people because they're doing exactly what they want. And they don't have a lot of money. So what is success? It's something you get to decide on. What makes that up? Very simple.
Yeah, I talked to someone recently, and I found this pretty interesting. They said that in the Declaration of Independence, there's a line that says, we have the right to pursue happiness. And she said to me, she goes, why do we have the right to pursue happiness? Why don't we have the right to have happiness?
Right.
So
right. Interesting.
Yeah. We'll save that for another talk.
Exactly. All right. Well,
thank you.
I hope that answered the question. I'm sorry about being long-winded, but
no, you did better than I did. You were great. You did better than I did. You were great.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. You have a much nicer smile, Nick.
Well, Tom, I mean, words can't express how appreciative I am for you being in my life, in so many ways. So I thank you so much for agreeing to do this, and I look forward to us catching up in person.
Well, buddy, it's a two-way street. I've learned a lot from you. I appreciate it. You just by you asking these questions, has made me think a little deeper about success, who I am, and where we want to take it. So I appreciate that, and I'm flattered. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Very welcome. All right, Tom.
All right, buddy.
I'll let
All
you
right.
go. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
See ya.